cucina, chita la gallina della calzina, cale la vecina che li sea melecina, in el mes del Hanukkah celebremos la sefa. La una quita la sete, de un teleque hasta 10. La otra quita la riva, de un saco hasta 10. Para ser los buñuelos en los días de Hanukkah, soñaremos la sefa. Para ser los buñuelos en los días de Hanukkah, soñaremos la sefa. Cantan más, las muchachas cantan más, en el mes de Hanukkah, soñaremos la sefa. Cantan más, las muchachas cantan más, en el mes de Hanukkah, soñaremos la sefa. Chita la gallina della cucina, chita la gallina della calzina, cale la vecina che li sea melecina, en el mes de Hanukkah, celebremos la sefa.
Hello, friends. Welcome. If you can hear me, give me a thumbs up. Yay! Welcome to my Bimuelo party. I'm so excited to have you all here. So today we are making this very delicious, yummy treat. Before we get started, can I have a show of hands to see who has made Bimuelos before? How many of you? Okay, some of you, great. So for the rest of you, I'm assuming this is new, and I'm gonna teach you some really fun, easy hacks, and we're gonna have a grand old time. So who here, again, a show of hands, has been to one of my cook and sings before? Okay, some of you. So for those who haven't, this is how it works. I love cooking and I love singing. For those of you who know me in other settings, I'm actually a Ladino singer by trade. I just happen to also love cooking, and my favorite thing is to combine the two. So I always start my cook and sings by giving a little bit of quirky history about the food we're about to make, because I want you all to understand where this food comes from. And then of course, we're gonna do some cooking together. And again, I'm gonna show you those easy, fun hacks, but we're also going to sing together. This is not a concert. For those of you who have seen me in concert, bless you. Thank you for coming to see me sing. But this is really a cook and sing along. So I am, of course, going to demonstrate the songs and teach them to you, but this is not a Sarah Aroeste concert. We are all going to sing these songs together, which is why it's a party. It's a Bimuelo cook and sing party. So first of all, I want to wish everybody a very happy Hanukkah. And the way we say that in Sephardic culture, for those of us who speak Ladino, the Judeo-Spanish language of many Sephardic families, we say Hanukkah Alegre. Let me hear you all say Hanukkah Alegre. Okay, I heard you through the computers. I really think I did. So Hanukkah Alegre, everybody. We are going to get started with some quirky history, and then we're going to get to the cooking, and then we're going to get to the singing. Of course, I'm sure you all know how to use the chat. And if you have a specific question, it's helpful if you also raise your hand, use the raise your hand icon so that I can quickly go through the chat and see which are questions and which are comments. I will try to answer as many as I can as I go along, but you'll see I'll have my hands in some flour, and I'll also have my hands on a ukulele, and I'm also gonna have my hands on the computer, so bear with me if I don't get to your question right away. I do have a sous chef I need to introduce. So I just happen to be married to a chef. Oh, Chef Jeff. I'm not sure if everybody saw you. So Chef Jeff is going to be very important because we are actually going to have two cameras, one on me and one on the stove. So I have pinned both our cameras, but I'm not sure it translates to your computer screen. So first I need you to pin me. You all know how to do that. You can pin me. And then if you see Sarah Stove, go ahead and pin Sarah Stove too. You can pin more than one video. Okay, so I'll give everybody a second to do that. You're going to pin me because I'm going to do most of the singing and talking. And then we're also going to pin the stove so you can see the crackle of the bimuelos from top down. Okay, so I just allowed a whole bunch of new people in. So just quickly, we are making bimuelos and we're cooking and we're singing. And go ahead and pin my video and also Sarah Stove. Okay, let's get started. We are going to start off with that quirky history that I promised. So, what's in a name? I'm going to share my screen. One second. Okay. Thank you for your patience. All right. Okay, so what's in a name? When I advertised this event, a lot of people said to me, oh my gosh, you mean Bimuelo, right? And other people said, no, it's Bimuelo. And then I got a whole bunch of other pronunciations and spellings and said, no, you're spelling it wrong. Well, I've got something to tell you. Like many Jewish foods, the Bimuelo takes on many names and forms throughout history, in part due to translational differences between regions, as well as the combination of diverse culinary customs. In Ladino alone, you can see it is known as Buñuelo, Bonuelo, Bimuelo, Bimuelo, Bumuelo, Bimuelo, Birmuelo, Burmuelo, Bilmuelo. Whew. A similar dish, popular in the former Ottoman Empire, is also known as lokma in Turkish, lukumades in Greek, zingus among Romaniot Greek Jews, and awami in Arabic. And please excuse me if I pronounced those incorrectly. I know them as Bimuelo, but what we can all agree on is that no matter how you spell it or pronounce it, this food item is marvelous. It's delicious. Okay, now where did the name even come from? Bimuelo is actually mentioned in the Bible. It's true, in Ladino translations of the Bible. So here are some biblical references. The Jewish concept of the Bimuelo can be traced back to the story of the manna in the desert in the biblical books of Exodus and Numbers. In Ladino editions of the Torah, this miraculous food is described in the book of Numbers as like cake in oil. And in Exodus, the taste of the manna is said to have been like sapihit in honey. And sapihit is translated into English as a wafer. And a similar word, sapahat, means a jar that holds oil. So putting this all together, in 1547, it's a long time ago, Ladino Bibles were translating sapihit as Bimuelo. And later translations follow suit with various alternate spellings. So I'm going to show you. The very first time Bimuelo is mentioned is in 1547 by Gedalia Cordovero, the son of the famous 16th century Kabbalist Moshe Cordovero. It was edited in a glossary. He edited a glossary of non-Hebrew words in the Torah and translated them into Ladino. And this first Ladino translation, printed in Hebrew characters, was published in Istanbul in 1547. And subsequently, it was published in the famous Ferrara Bible in 1553. And the manna which God provided to the Israelites tasted like, as Cordovero wrote, Bimuelo in honey. So I'm going to show you that exact translation in 1547, the top one. And then there were several more translations. In 1588, the Sefer Heshek Shlomo was first published in Venice. And according to the anonymous author, the word sapihit is translated as binuelos or benuelos. And then in 1730, Rabbi Yaakov Huli, the famous Ladino biblical commentary of the Sefer Me'am Loez, offered yet an additional spelling, stating that the manna tasted like bilmuelos. And then now in 1873, that bottom one, published in Istanbul, you can see that it's now translated as bimuelo. So this debate about how to spell and pronounce this delicious food goes back all the way to 1547. It is nothing new. But again, however you spell it, however you pronounce it, we know that it's all the most delicious food for Hanukkah. And I'm so excited to be making it with you today. So, first thing is first, we learned how to say Hanukkah Allegre, and now we are going to start with the second part of the cooking because it takes the longest, especially to cool. So for those of you who are cooking with me today, we are actually going to very quickly start making the syrup. We're going to make rose water syrup. It actually only takes a minute to prepare, but then we're going to let it simmer on the stove while we do some singing, and then we'll get to the bimuelos. So again, if you just entered, please make sure to pin me because I'll be doing the talking and demonstrating. So go ahead and pin me. And also, if it's not already, please pin Sarah Stove, because that's where you're actually going to see the food get cooked. Okay, so pin me and Sarah Stove. So the very first thing we're going to do is make the syrup, which really doesn't take much effort. Okay, all I have here, my little pots. I am going to put in 1 cup of sugar and 3/4 cup of water. That's it. And then we're going to let it boil. And when it's done boiling, I'm going to put in the rose water. So I'm going to pass this along to Chef Jeff. And you're going to see him. Okay, if you can see it on Sarah's stove, raise your hand. Okay, great. So that is going to be our second camera. It is going to thicken slightly, and then we're going to put in the rose water and we're going to let it continue to thicken. But that is going to be our syrup. So for those of you who are cooking with us, I'm going to give you a second to put that on the stove.
You should mention something smaller.
All right. Okay, so now we are going to prepare ourselves to make our special bimuelos. And again, I just want to repeat that I love seeing everybody write in the chat section. If you do have a specific question, I also ask that you raise your hand so that I can see what is a question and what is not. And I appreciate all the compliments on my dress. You know what? You have to get in the spirit. So I applaud anybody who came here with some bling bling for Hanukkah, because it's all about the light and the joy, and making bimuelos and singing with all of you truly is my light and joy today. So while we let the syrup cook, we are going to sing our first song. So I hope that you all received our song sheets. The very first one we are going to sing is Hanukkah, Hanukkah by my dear friend, Flory Jagoda. We love Flory. Some of you might be familiar with her song, Ocho Candelitas, which I promise we will get to at the end, but she has some other wonderful Hanukkah songs as well. So we're gonna start off with Hanukkah, Hanukkah. And again, if you've just joined us, just a reminder that this is not a Sarah Aroeste concert. This is a sing-along. So I am going to teach you the song, and I expect you to sing along with me. Okay. Okay, so does everybody have their song sheets? If you don't have song sheets, check the email that you clicked on the Zoom link for, and there is a link there with all of the songs. Okay. I am going to make these super easy. So we're going to start with Hanukkah, Hanukkah. And the way you're going to sing this with me is with the lie, 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 lie. Everybody say lie, 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 lie. Okay, so the verse is actually very easy, and it goes like this. Hanukkah, Hanukkah, ocho días de felicidad. And then it repeats. Hanukkah, Hanukkah, ocho días de felicidad. Now this is where I need you to come in. If you don't want to sing the verse with me, you need to come in here. Lie, la, 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 lie, lie, la, la, lie. Lie, la, 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 lie, lie. Then it repeats. Lie, la, 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 lie, lie, la, la, lie. Lie, la, la, lie, la, la, lie, la, la, lie, la, la, lie. Makes sort of like a swirl down. Lie, la, la, lie, la, la, lie, la, la, lie, la, la, lie. That's pretty easy enough. Okay, so I think we should just try it, and you can just jump in whenever the spirit moves you. Here we go. Hanukkah, Hanukkah, ocho días de felicidad. Hanukkah, Hanukkah, ocho días de felicidad. Lai, la, 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 lai, lai, la, la, lai, lai, la, 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 lai, lai. Lai, la, 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 lai, lai, la, la, lai. Lai, la, la, lai, la, la, lai, la, la, lai, la, la, lai. Okay, now we've got ocho días 8 días de bailar, dancing. Hanukkah, Hanukkah, 8 días de bailar. Hanukkah, Hanukkah, 8 días de bailar. La 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 la. Okay. Whew. A lot of enjoying during Hanukkah, right? Okay, 8 días de gozar. Hanukkah, Hanukkah, 8 días de gozar. Hanukkah, Hanukkah, 8 días de gozar. La 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 la. La 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 la. Woo! Good job, everybody. If that is your first time singing Ladino Hanukkah songs, Mazal Tov, Mazel Bueno, that was great. That is one of my favorite songs, so thank you for singing with me. Okay, the next song is a cheeky little song that I wrote because I just love Bimuelo so much. And this is, of course, not a traditional Ladino song, but nevertheless, I hope that you enjoy the humor with me. So this is actually a spoken word song. It's poetry, but we are going to set it to a beat. So first, the chorus is really important. It goes like this. Bimuelo, Bimuelo, you're more than just fried dough. Bimuelo, Bimuelo, hello. Did you guys get that? One more time. Bimuelo, Bimuelo, you're more than just fried dough, because it really is. Bimuelo, Bimuelo, hello. Okay, we're gonna sing that nice, loud, and proud. And I'm gonna set the beat for the spoken word, and we're just gonna have some silly fun because that's what I like to do with this song, okay? Okay, do you hear that beat? Everybody clap along. Here we go, you ready? Latkes get the credit, donuts aren't far behind. There's an even better treat that'll blow your Hanukkah mind. Sephardic fried delight, served sweet and warm, will guarantee to set on fire your Hanukkah taste buds alarm. Ready? Bimuelo, Bimuelo, you're more than just fried dough. Bimuelo, Bimuelo, hello, good job. Here we go. A jelly donut, it is not, won't find sufganiyot here, but when you fry one on the stove, grab it fast else they disappear. You can drizzle it with honey or top it with whipped cream. Sprinkle on some cinnamon, you got a Hanukkah treat supreme. Bimuelo, Bimuelo, you're more than just fried dough. Bimuelo, Bimuelo, hello. Okay, now we're gonna break it down. Okay, so we're gonna start with the clapping, stop with the stomping, and this is freestyle. This is no ordinary Hanukkah dessert. You can eat it with rose water. You can eat it with yogurt. The miracle of Hanukkah wasn't oil for the ocho. The true gift of the holiday of lights is we got Bimuelo Loco. Here we go. Bimuelo, Bimuelo, you're more than just fried dough. Bimuelo, Bimuelo, hello. Okay, one more time. Stop that. Bimuelo, Bimuelo, you're more than just fried dough. Bimuelo, Bimuelo, hello. That is, I love Bimuelos so much. I can't believe I wrote a silly rap about it. So I hope that you laughed as much as I just did. And we are going to get started making this amazing treat. So I'm going to take this off, and I am going to, of course, put on my Hanukkah apron, because this does get a little messy. Okay, here we go. Okay, so I promised some people that we were going to make two types, a gluten dairy-free and a regular. And so the mix I'm going to make in front of me right now is actually going to be the regular, and I pre-made the gluten-free, but we're going to fry them at the same time so you can see how they look the same or different. So for those of you in your kitchens,
Can I give you a status update on this?
oh, Sarah's stove. If you still have Sarah's stove pinned.
One more minute, and then I'm going to take it off, and I'm going to cool it in a bath of ice water.
Did you put the rose water?
Yeah, I already did.
Oh, I missed that part. I don't know if you saw it behind me, but the rose water, I was singing my Bimuelo ode when the rose water was added to the sugar water on the stove. And even if you couldn't pin Sarah's stove, if you can find it in your view, you can see that the syrup is simmering, and in 1 minute, it has already gotten thickened. It coated the back of a spoon, and it is about to go into an ice bath. Okay, so now on to the Bimuelos. We are going to, in a large bowl, put in our dry ingredients. So right here, I have 1.5 cups of flour. And as I put in the recipe, I have tested it, and we're about to make 1-to-1 ratio gluten-free flour for Bimuelos, and it works great. Then I'm going to use 1 teaspoon of baking powder. I do not use yeast. I know a lot of you out there ask me, is there yeast? Is there matzah? Nope. This is a very quick, easy Bimuelo hack. I'm just using 1 teaspoon of baking powder. And then I'm just going to use a pinch of salt. That's it. There's no sugar in this part either. So I'm going to quickly whisk it. And then in another bowl, I am going to put a cup of milk. And just 1 egg. And if you are dairy free, obviously this recipe is not, but if you are dairy free, you can use 4 tablespoons of aqua fava. Putting my 1 egg in. I'm going to mix it. And then I'm going to combine it with my dry ingredients. And while I'm doing this, we are going to get the oil warmed up on the stove. Chef Jeff.
It's warm.
Oh, it's already warm. Wow, he's 1 step ahead of me. Okay, so here I go. I'm mixing the wet ingredients with the dry. Take a minute to mix. I got a lot of comments before this event saying, oh, my mother or my great aunt used to make these on Passover using matzah. And yes, it is a traditional food that you can have for Passover. There is a recipe that uses matzah, but this is a Hanukkah recipe. You don't need matzah. Okay, so if you can see that, it really has become a nice, thick dough. Okay, I'll give everybody a second. Now I'm gonna pass it over to Chef Jeff.
Thank you.
Okay. The actual frying really only takes a minute. These are such a fast, easy treat to make. The fun is, of course, dipping the batter in and deciding, what toppings I should use. So we are offering our rose water concoction, but we will also have several other toppings laid out in just a minute. So now, Chef Jeff
Hi.
is about to drop the first one in to the screen that says Sarah Stove. And I'm just going to look quickly to see if there are any questions. Oh, somebody asked how much rose water. 1 tablespoon. 1 tablespoon. Orange blossom water is also great. I also know some people who use vanilla. It's just a little extra flavoring. You don't even need flavoring. You could even just have a sugar water coating. Oh, somebody said merci mucho for making a vegan version. You're so welcome. And I've got a secret. I'm going to be eating the gluten-free vegan version too, which is why I am doubly invested in making sure that recipe works. Okay, what if we don't have rose water? That's okay. You'll see that we're going to also use honey, maple syrup, powdered sugar, cinnamon sugar. There are many options. You really can't go wrong. If you break the bimuelos in half, do the calories escape, enabling you to eat as many as you want? Oh, I wish I could answer that question. Yeah, you know what? It's Hanukkah. Just enjoy yourself. At least that's what I tell my stomach. Okay, how much rose water is it added before or after the ice water bath? It is added before.
I did it right after boiling.
Right after boiling, that's when you add in the rose water. You let it simmer a few more minutes just so it thickens a little bit more and coats a spoon. And then you put it in the rose water to cool. Otherwise, it is burning hot and it is impossible to eat it comfortably on top of a bimuelo right away. It definitely needs to be cooled. Some people are saying that, they want to know what brand of rose water. Oh, I use Alwadi. I don't know if you can see that close enough. Alwadi, A-L-W-A-D-I. Agua de Rosas rose water. We do not use a special pan. You really don't need to. Again, if you can see Sarah's stove, I can see them really frying up beautifully. And you can see the gluten-free version is right next to it. So you see 2 pans. The larger one is the regular gluten. The one next to it is the gluten-free, and they are frying up almost identically. We're going to do a taste test in a minute. And it's very quick. You really only need about a minute to a minute and a half on both sides. They're very, very fast. Yes, I see people saying what kinds of toppings they prefer. I like honey myself. What gluten-free flours do we suggest? We're using
Bob's Red Mill.
Bob's Red Mill. Bob's Red Mill 1-to-1 gluten-free flour.
King Arthur has a good one too.
So someone is asking, yes, vanilla bean is a wonderful option. Someone is asking why the mixture is not thick, why it might be too moist. If you follow these exact measurements, it shouldn't be. Maybe you need to add in just a little bit more flour. That would be my recommendation. And for vegans, yes, if you don't want to use honey, certainly you can use a lot of other options. Someone here said that they used rice strawberry instead of honey, which sounds delicious. My preference personally is a little bit of cinnamon sugar. That always works for me. Okay, so if there aren't any more questions, we're gonna get back to some singing. Unless some of you are by the stove and you can't be singing and cooking at the same time. Oh, actually, we have our first batch ready, so we're not going to eat them yet because they are very hot and they do need to have the oil drain. So I'm going to show you what it looks like right off the sizzling stove.
This is the gluten-free.
These are the gluten-free.
Those are the gluten.
And these are the gluten. You can see the gluten ones, it might just be because Jeff used larger spoonfuls. They do look a little bit bigger. They are a little bit fluffier, but I can tell you they really do taste almost the same. Yeah. I hope you can see that. Okay. We're gonna just let them drain a little bit. Okay. Yes, maple syrup is also great. Okay, any more questions? Okay, we're gonna continue with the music and then we're gonna have our tasting party. The next song we're going to do is by the wonderful Judy Frankel. This song is called Hanukkah. Music by Judy Frankel, lyrics by Lena Cohen Albuquerque, a wonderful poet. It was written in the late 80s, I believe 1988. And, oh, I lost my ukulele.
Oh, I can give that back to you.
That's what happens in our kitchen when we're cooking and singing. My ukulele sometimes gets misplaced. As long as it doesn't end up in the dishwasher. Okay. So, does anybody know this song? It's a great one. Oh, quickly, what's the measurement on each one you place in oil? And does the oil level in the pot cover all of them? That is a great question. Again, try to locate the Sarah stove camera so you can see. We use about 1 inch of oil. Any sort of neutral vegetable oil works. We use grapeseed oil. It doesn't have to completely cover. So ours is about 1 inch high, I'd say. And we use one spoon. Can you demonstrate how big this spoon is? Oh yeah.
Tablespoon.
About 1 tablespoon.
And if you spray it with cooking oil, they slide off a bit easier.
And if, I don't know if you heard that, if you spray it with cooking oil, they slide off easily. Okay, so here we go. Hanukkah by Judy Frankel. First, we're gonna learn it. This is actually a little bit of a complicated song, so we're gonna learn it on La 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 first. Okay, so on La La La. La 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 la. That's the first line. La 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 la. And then it repeats. A lot of Ladino music to make the music memorable and pass it on orally from generation to generation. A lot of the songs repeat quite often. So the second line is the same. La 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 la. Now it changes. La 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 la. Again. La 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 la. And then the last line is going to be almost the same. It's going to start off the same and just end in the middle. La 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 la. That's the melody. So we're going to try it on La. And then there are a lot of lyrics here, so we might go slowly so you can catch all these all these lyrics. So again on la. La 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 You got that? Okay, I'm gonna sing it with the lyrics, and you can sing la la la, or you can try to sing along with me. I'll slow it down a little bit. Nos viene la fiesta de la Hanukkah, a todos mozos hinche de alegría. La mujer nunca manca de su tarea, porque ella encombe Hanukkah. I could hear you guys. Sounded great. Los Hasmonaim este ilusio día mostraron sus tan grande baraganía y siempre de ellos nos acordaremos y al Dios grande siempre bendiceremos. Y placer ya es para las criaturas cuando empiezan a recibir dulzurías, los tan hermosos jugueticos del Padre, con las tan lucias cabezas de la Madre. El Dios nos salvó de tanta grande dolor, Él sea siempre nuestro grande Salvador. Nunca no tengamos manías y nura, que no nos dé nunca ninguna amargura. Okay, we're gonna end it with a rousing verse of la 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 la. You can all sing along. Ready? Here we go. La 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 Woo! Great job, everybody. Beautiful. Okay, the next song is a really fun song. And I had to include the next two because besides my song, my ode to Bimuelos, there are actually two traditional Ladino songs that talk about Bimuelos. Can you believe it? It's true. It is the stuff that love songs are written about. Ladino love songs to Bimuelos. So this is one of them. We're having a meal. We're having a party. A merenda. What time? Come on, I'll tell you. One person is gonna pour the oil. One person is gonna measure the flour because we've got to make the Bimuelos. It's a Bimuelo party, and traditionally, this came from Edirne, Turkey, and it was in an anthology by Yitzhak Levy. Apparently, the last night of Hanukkah, there was a huge potluck, and everyone from the community would bring ingredients, and they would all make Bimuelos and have a huge party. I just love that idea, and that is what we're doing today. We are carrying on that tradition. Okay, so this, we're gonna have to practice our rhythm a little bit. I'm gonna need some clapping or some pounding. Okay. Okay. Whew. This is the chorus that I'm gonna need help with. Ya Ramanen Rumeyaman. Ya Ramanen Rumeyaman. Let's just get that in our heads a little bit. Rahman, and you're going to repeat. Ya Rahman, your turn. Ya Rahman, my turn. Ya Rahman, your turn. Ya Rahman, together. Ya Rahman and Rume Aman. One more time. Ya Rahman and Rume Aman. Oh, I love that song. Just, I feel like I'm back in Turkey. Okay, one more love song to Bimuelos. And this time, we also have some chicken soup. So it's called Beat the Plate, Dak il Tas, which is also a traditional song. This one actually doesn't mention the Bimuelos, but a similar song called Kit al Tas, which they're very related, does mention specifically the Bimuelo, but this is about all the different things that we do in the kitchen to get ready. I'm not quite sure what beat the plate actually means, but I have a feeling it's the festive. I think of it as beating the table, which is what I'm doing. And everyone is just getting ready for Hanukkah, and there's a special Shabbat in the middle. And I just love that, you know, it's not all chicken soup for Ashkenazim. We Sephardim here, we have the chicken in the kitchen. Give it to the neighbor to taste so that it will be a medicine. I love that Sephardim. We share that folk that folk food lore. And it's just another big celebration, getting ready for Hanukkah. Okay, so again, we're gonna test out our rhythm. Okay. This is a pretty easy song. The lines do repeat, so I'll lead you through it. Dak il tas tomal tas. We're going to repeat that. Dak il tas tomal tas. Las muchachas meten bas en Shabbat de Hanukkah. Repeat. 8 días de Hanukkah. Lahadlik ner shel Hanukkah. Okay, so that's the melody. I'll do it one more time so you can hear. Dak il tas tomal tas, dak il tas tomal tas, las muchachas meten paz en Shabbat de Hanukkah, 8 días de Hanukkah, lahadlik ner shel Hanukkah. La gallina de la cocina, la gallina de la cocina, dale a gustar a la vecina, que la sea milicina, 8 días de Hanukkah, la hadlik ner shel Hanukkah. Mete la carne al tandur, mete la carne al tandur, tañeremos un buen santur en Shabbat de Hanukkah, 8 días de Hanukkah, la hadlik ner shel Hanukkah. El vino de la cerrada, el vino de la cerrada, que a mí mucho me agrada a beber en Hanukkah, 8 días de Hanukkah, lahadlik ner shel Hanukkah. Let's do one on la la la. La 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 la. La 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 lahadlik ner shel Hanukkah. Woo! Great job, everybody. That that's another traditional classic song that not enough people know, and I'm really happy that I get to share it with you. So thank you for singing along. Now, before we get to our last song, I have some special guests to invite in because I'm not really a particularly discerning Bimuelo eater because I just love Bimuelos. But I do have a few people in my household who might actually give their honest opinion. So I do have a 5-year-old and a 7-year-old, and they will gladly tell you which Bimuelos they like better. Okay, so wave to the camera. No, it's over there. It's over there.
Camera.
A little black thing.
Okay, so these are my 2 daughters, and which toppings do you like best on your Bimuelos? Do you know?
What kind of toppings?
Okay, so we have cinnamon, we have sugar, powdered sugar, honey, maple syrup,
Powdered sugar.
and rose water.
Powdered sugar.
Okay, so we're getting our powdered sugar and our rose water ready because we're gonna do a little taste test. Now, I can't see all of you with your Bimuelos. I'm looking. If you have Bimuelos that you've been making and you wanna hold one up so I can see if you've put any flavors on them. And while I do that, I am going to answer a few questions. So Santur from that last song does mean an instrument. And oh, I just love seeing some of you tell your family stories. Thank you for sharing. Okay, so I'm gonna try the gluten-free, dairy-free. I don't know if I said that I used
Which is a powdered sugar?
oat milk. I used oat milk. I did not use regular milk. I may have forgotten to say that. So it's a gluten-free oat milk recipe. And let's see, put this down. We're gonna try them and then we're gonna end with a candle lighting and one last favorite song. So here we have our gluten, and our non-gluten dairy free. And here we have rose water, syrup that we just made, and we've got powdered sugar, cinnamon sugar, and honey. You can also use maple syrup or truly any topping that you want. Okay, so Ivrit, you pick one. You got to pick one topping. Okay, so she's going for the powdered sugar, and we're going to get an honest opinion. I did not pay her, except I may have given her allowance to. There's the camera. What do you think?
That's good.
It's good? Okay, now Dahlia, you get to pick one. No, that's the gluten-free one. I don't think you want.
No.
Oh, no, you're right. Okay. Which topping? Try this one. Okay, so Dahlia, the 5-year-old, is trying it with cinnamon sugar.
Good.
There's the camera.
It's good.
Oh, just good?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna have all of them once I have it.
Okay, Chef Jeff is going to try all of them, and I'm going to try the gluten-free with a little bit of rose water. Okay. And if you're at home, I hope that you're trying yours as well. I think it's delicious because I really don't think you can go wrong with Bimuelos. Oh, that's okay, we've got lots. So again, that's what they should look like. This is what they should taste like. Truly delicious. And if you've cooked with me before, or if you've attended other Ladino cooking classes, you might know the expression when you've really enjoyed somebody's cooking, you say, benditas manos. literally blessed hands. So bendichas manos to all of you for cooking my favorite Hanukkah food. And you can have another one, honey. Benditas manos to my sous chef, Chef Jeff. And I'm going to give you a minute to finish chewing so we can get to our last song. And if you can see, I have this beautiful oil menorah. I think you should be able to see it in the camera view. And I get a lot of questions about using oil menorah. So I'd love to just tell you quickly what that's all about. If you use an oil menorah at home, could you please raise your hand? I'd love to see. Oh, great. There are some of you. Beautiful. So it is really a Sephardic tradition to use oil, not only in our Hanukkah menorahs, but also even in our Shabbat candles, because thousands of years ago in the temple, during the Hanukkah miracle, oil was used, right? Olive oil was used as the oil to light candles and to light the Hanukkah. So we use oil still today in honor of that. So this is olive oil. And my camera, I think, is reversed. So normally you light with the newest candle first, which would be left to right. So I don't know if the camera is being reversed right now, but please trust that I'm doing it from left to right. And you see that the shamash is also in olive oil, which would be very difficult to light the other candles with the shamash because that would get very messy. All of the oil would pour out. So instead, we use a special lighter candle. Oh! We use this special helper candle, and we actually light the shamash last. And I get a lot of questions about that. Isn't the shamash the most important? Shouldn't it go first? But actually, it's so important we save it for last. Okay, so I'm going to have Chef Jeff, because I want to share with you the blessings. Now, some of you might not be used to hearing the blessings in Ladino, so I'm going to recite the two blessings. So this is going to be my candle lighting right now. And before I light them and say the blessings, I do want to acknowledge the community for whom I am lighting my candles for many of the days of Hanukkah. Some of you who have seen me perform and been to my other events know that my heart is in the city of Monastir, which is the birthplace of my grandfather and my ancestors. And it is now known as Bitola in Macedonia. And I actually see some friends from Bitola on this call. So it's so wonderful to see you. We are a part of a very big project that I'd love to invite you to be a part of. It's called the 1,000 Menorahs Project. It was started by the Foreign Ministry in Israel, and they built beautiful menorahs, over 1,000 menorahs, and they're asking people around the world to light their menorahs on behalf of the Jews from Monastir who perished during World War II, including a lot of my own family. So we are all lighting a candle in memory of that beautiful community. And there is a website to upload photos and videos of a candle lighting in honor of that community. And I will share that website address with you in a follow-up email. But I hope that if you're not lighting right now, that you will do so in the next few days to honor that community and to post your photo or video. So I will have that community in my mind as I light this menorah now. Can you go ahead and do it so I can recite? And I will recite the blessings in Ladino that you have in front of you as well. Bendito tu Adonai, nuestro Dios, Rey del mundo, que nos santificó con sus encomendanzas y nos encomendó por encender candela de Hanukkah. Bendito tu Adonai, nuestro Dios, Rey del mundo, que hizo milagros a nuestros padres en los días los estos y en el tiempo el este. I see some of you lighting. Okay, we are going to get ready to sing everyone's favorite song. And before we do so, I'm just going to share my screen one last time before we close it out. I want to make sure everybody remembers how to say Happy Hanukkah in Ladino, Hanukkah Allegre. Let's practice one more time. Hanukkah Allegre. All right, and if you enjoyed what you saw today, I hope that you will follow me on my social medias, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, you choose. This really does help independent artists. So I do hope that if you aren't following me on these various sites, that you will do so now. I'll give you a minute to even take out your phones or your computers and do it. I offer these programs for free because I just love sharing my tradition and my cultures with all of you. But I do have 2 kids who love Bimuelos and I need to feed them. So if you did enjoy this program, I hope you'll visit my website right here and either leave me a tip or even better yet, leave a donation to my project, the Monastir Project, which is an organization that I've been running for this past year, and I will continue to do it for however long it takes. It is an international project that brings together Macedonian and Israeli musicians and other musicians from around the world to preserve the music and history of the Monastir communities. So I can't do this work without your help, and I really want to continue offering these free programs in 2021. So to be able to do so, I hope that you will leave me a tip or a donation to the Monastir Project. Thank you. And you can learn all about the Monastir Project via my website right here. I'll give you a minute to even type in the URL on your computers. Okay, and with that, we get to our finale. Now, before we sing Ocho Candelicas, for those of you who only know this song, you've heard it a million times, but don't actually know the story behind it, Flori Jagoda is, oh, where do I even begin? Flori Jagoda is one of the most remarkable people I've ever known. I've had the pleasure and the honor of considering a dear friend. She is really the one who brought Ladino to America. And a lot of people mistakenly think that this song is a traditional Ladino song. It's not. It was written by Flori not even 40 years ago. So it's actually a contemporary Ladino song, and it has become rightfully so a true classic. Flori is still very much alive. She is turning 97, I think next week even. So happy birthday, Flori. Happy almost birthday. Everybody say happy birthday to Flori. She is having a concert in her honor at the National Museum of American Jewish History next week, I believe, or the week after, a week from Monday. So please check out the NMAJH, National Museum of American Jewish Heritage website to get a free Zoom ticket for the Flori Jagoda 97th birthday party. Okay, all that being said, let's get our Ocho Candelicas ready. Okay, I just have to ask, is anyone not familiar with this song? I'm looking at hands. I don't see any hands. I think we all know this, so I'm not even gonna teach it. I expect you all to sing loud and proud. Here we go. And if you're too shy to admit that you don't know it, just sing along. Okay, here we go. Hanukkah linda está aquí, ocho candelas para mí. Hanukkah lindo está aquí, ocho candelas para mí. Oh, una candelica, dos candelicas, tres candelicas, cuatro candelicas, cinco candelicas, seis candelicas, siete candelicas, ocho candelas para mí. Muchas fiestas vou fazer con alegrías y placer. Muchas fiestas vou fazer con alegrías y placer. Oh, una candelica, dos candelicas, tres candelicas, cuatro candelicas, cinco candelicas, seis candelicas, siete candelicas, ocho candelas para mí. Los pastelicos vou comer con almendricas y la miel. Los pastelicos vou comer con almendricas y la miel. Una candelica, dos candelicas, tres candelicas, cuatro candelicas, cinco candelicas, seis candelicas, siete candelicas, ocho candelas para mí. Woo! Oh, I think we need to do that one more time, the una candelica part, because we didn't get enough. Una candelica, dos candelicas, tres candelicas, cuatro candelicas, cinco candelicas, seis candelicas, siete candelicas, ocho candelas para mí. Oh, my fingers are so sticky from that honey. Okay, everybody, thank you so much. Hanukkah Allegri, happy Hanukkah, happy rest of 2020. May it end quickly and beautifully filled with joy. Let us have this light and this joy carry us through the end of this year. And I bless you all. Benditas manos. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much for spreading the light and the joy. And Bimuelo Alegre. That's what it really should be called. Bimuelo Alegre. Goodbye, friends. Thank you for joining.